Thought transmission, people think what you think. How many times have you thought about a loved one like a brother or mother or a friend, a best friend, or an old friend that you have not been in contact for some time, and you thought of them fondly, and next thing you know, you pick up your phone and they start calling you or they send you a text. I personally can testify that this has happened to me multiple occasions, not just once, several times. And one time I did it deliberately. I thought of an old friend with whom I have not been in contact for many months or maybe years. And I thought of them fondly, and that very day, they sent me a text. The idea came to me of this video because a viewer reached out to me on Instagram and they asked me a question like, how can one receive a text? Now, why is it that it is so easy for us to sort of think of somebody we love or somebody we are close to and we have not much resistance towards, to reconnect with them even without any physical means? Just think of them, and as if our thoughts transfer to them and they start thinking of us, and then they reach out. But when it comes to like somebody that you used to love, or a specific person, or a person you're trying to manifest, that is when it becomes a whole thing and it becomes very difficult. Why? Because you are not thinking of them fondly. Okay? Loved and thinking of somebody with unconditional love versus thinking of somebody with fear of losing them is totally separate things. It says in the scripture, those who have more will be given them, and those who do not have that which they have will be taken away from them. What it means is, you can only have that which you have within. You can only experience in the world that which you are. And for this precise reason, what you think, other people think the same about you. They think what you think about you personally. And they think what you think about them in relationship to you. So in case of a mother, in case of a friend, in case of a best friend or a long lost friend, in case of somebody that you love, without much resistance, without much negativity, it is not a difficult thing to think of them fondly. I have done this with a brother of mine, and I would just be like, oh, I haven't called my brother for some time. I wonder what he's up to. And next thing I know, he will send me a message. And what I'm trying to communicate to you here is this. The laws of the universe are not, you cannot call something a law if it works one time for one thing, one specific thing, and doesn't work for another in the same sort of phenomenon. So if thought transmission can work for your loved ones, the same principle applies to a stranger, a random person, or nobody, or somebody you are trying to manifest. Thoughts transmit instantly. Why? Because all is mind. The universe is mental. It says in the book The Kabbalion, God is living mind. God is living spirit. And so when you are thinking with the same substance of God. Is the same mind. You don't have your own mind. You are borrowing it, or your individualized aspect of it, a minuscule, small spark. The eternal fire of God is within you. Now, it's minuscule not in essence but in degree. That is, to have the genuine human experience, God has shrunk its focus to a point so that it can have a genuine human experience. Otherwise, God is aware of everything, and you will not be able to have a genuine human experience, because the thing that you love, you will realize that it is you. These plants, everything is me, and there is no separation. So the illusion of separation creates authentic experience. But you are thinking in the same mind, and your specific person or your loved ones exist where? they exist in the living mind of God. This is why this stuff works. And all you guys, often my clients will ask me that we have been in no contact for so long. If I don't reach out, how would they know about me? You're thinking with a linear mind. You're thinking with a human identity. You're thinking that there are only physical channels that exist, so you're not really understanding the fundamental reality that this is. It is a mental realm. All things exist in the mind of God. And when you think of something, you are thinking in the mind of God. And this is why what you think of others, they think of you, because you are transmitting that thought into the mind of God, and the mind of God, they are borrowing the same mind of God. So God is like, okay, it's like a network. God is like the server, serving everybody their personalized reality, and we are like the users who are using the mind of God with our own little terminal, and whatever commands we send to God, God makes it happen. God builds the 3D that way. God sends the messages that are necessary to make our manifestation to all the beings and things and events that are necessary to make it so. And then those beings, this is why they have no free will, because they are all God. It's all God. So God wills them, and they move under compulsion to make it so for you. And in their reality, you make it so for them. And you are multidimensional. So each and every node of God is a complete universe of their own, and they are living in their own complete reality, where their information is sent to the server, and the server animates everything. This is thought transmission. You're not really transmitting anything. You are thinking into the mind of God, into the dream of God, with your imagination, with your emotions, with your thoughts, with your feelings. And then God animates the whole thing in real time. And it may appear that you have transmitted something. You have transmitted nothing. But it's just to conceptualize the idea. So you don't need a physical connection, is what I'm trying to say. You don't need a physical connection. You don't need to reach out. You don't need to do anything. You just need to think of them fondly, now with real love. This is where a lot of you struggle with, especially with something that you really want, or the person that you really want. Or when you really want somebody, you're lacking them, you're not loving them, right? You're lacking them, you're not loving them. I know that because I've been there. Real love does not lack something, right? Or it does not need something to be here to be loved, to be possessed to be loved, right? Real love sets you free. So it could be as simple as that, imagining you being with them together, right? Thinking of them fondly, being with you lovingly, and that's it. It could be a very, very simple thing. Or it could be a very simple thing like imagining them in your mind's eye, right in front of you, saying hello, or it's been a while, or I missed you. Simple things. But it has to be laced with love, right? Not with lack or frustration. Now, the natural question will arise, well, how the hell do I get rid of lack? Well, for that, I have so many videos talking about a very singular idea, which again ties back to the fundamental reality, not this 3D. This is the world of effects, it's not the world of cause. You are not your identity. Who is lacking? God does not lack. You are the divine spark of God, or the presence of God at the point you are. God does not lack anything. Who is lacking? The one who is lacking is the ego. And your ego has built up a story that is negative regarding you and the person that you want to talk to, or want to reconnect, or want in your life. And they can only think what you think. They can only think what you think. So if you are repeatedly telling yourself that they hate you, or they are too good for you, or you are nothing, you are not good enough, or you are a loser, or you are ugly, or you are this, or you are that, or you messed up, and that's why they hate you. If you keep repeating this story, then that's the only thing that they can think of you. So that's how you build that relationship with them, and that creates lack. And that this all is built upon the shallow, fake foundation of the ego, that you think that you are, but you are not your ego. You are the divine spark of God, and love, and it's all your divine inheritance, not just love, not just one person. Everything is your divine inheritance. And the more you reach for your divine spark within you, it could be as simple as saying that, thank you, Father. You can thank the All Father within you, that thank you for reconnecting me with this person, and thank you for our beautiful relationship that is unfolding before me right now. Now, when you say that, you're not saying it from your ego, therefore you cannot feel lack. You will only feel lack when you're like, oh, but how the Father is going to make it. The moment you start doubting your higher self, the moment you start doubting manifestation, the moment you start doubting how, dwelling on the how. But you don't, all you have to do is thank the Father, feel the gratitude in your heart, and lace it with love, right? And when you are grateful, you're already in love. It's natural. And you cannot lack anything. When you have love, you cannot lack anything. When you are one with the Father, you cannot lack anything. The one who lacks is the ego, never the Father within, never the I am awareness within, never the Christ within. And when I say the Father, I mean the entire reality, and when I say the Christ within, is the individualized aspect of the Father within you. So God is all that is, as it says in the book The Kabbalion, the all. The all is all that is, everything, and nothing exists beyond the all. This is why thought transmission works again, because everything exists in the all, and everything is borrowing the consciousness from the all. So what you think of yourself and others, they think of you that way. And everything, so that's the Father. The all is the Father, or the Mother, whatever, the universe, right? Or the living spirit that animates everything. And the Christ within, or your I am awareness, is the individualized aspect of you, your higher self, having this adventure of life from you, a unique experience that only you can give. And then there is the identity, the persona that we are wearing to create the illusion of separation, we call the ego. Ego is not all bad. It's not, whenever I talk about ego, I'm not trying to demonize it. But by default, it's negative. It all is a survival-based mechanism. Therefore, it lacks, it fights for things, it's scared, it's fearful, it wants to control other people, it's attached, it's often attached to people and think it loves them. Love is not attachment. Love is not choking somebody and suffocating somebody. Love is you set them free and you love them within your heart and in your mind, and they will just run back to you automatically. I'm speaking from personal experience. I have been in a situation where I was attached to somebody with my ego, and I thought I was loving them. Absolutely not. In hindsight, now I can see that I was suffocating them. So obviously they ran away. And in those days I was like such a victim. I was thinking, oh, I did that. No, they did this to me. Oh, I'm such a good boy. I'm such a good person. Why would they not love me? Now I see that I was being so desperate and so needy and so low vibrational and so suffocating them spiritually, and I was thinking so negatively of me, myself and them. That's the only thing they could think of me, because of thought transmission or being one with in the mind of God. And since I am the operant power in my reality, they could only reflect that which I was thinking of them and myself. It cannot be any other way. So to rekindle so-called your love with somebody, And you have to understand all realities exist in the mind of God right now. So what you want already is real in the mind of God. It has happened. And it's a state that will exist forever, and this state is available for anybody to fall into. So finding a lost love with somebody, it's a state for everybody to have. And the prerequisite is you embodying it. And how can you embody it? By not lacking them, but having them with love in your mind. So telling the new story in your mind that they are thinking about you, they are in love with you, not resenting them for what they did to you, but loving them for how you want them to be in your life, and doing some simple activities with them in imagination, like drinking a cup of coffee. Simple things, not over the top things, simple, natural, regular things, right? And so long as you are not secretly lacking it and doing it with the ego and asking how, but how they will connect with me, or but how this, but how that, but we have history. That is where you have to master your mind a little bit. That's where disciplines comes into play. That's where Neville Goddard talks about persistence. That's persistence, choosing repeatedly the new story in your mind, because you now understand that people can only think of you as you think of yourself and them, your relationship, their relationship to you. How you think of it, it can only be transmitted that way to them, and then they play that role, hence the thought transmission. So I guess your focus should be on telling the new story, and the new story should be based in love, not lack, not resentment, and not the how. The news, and one, as you tell the new story, you can add in gratefulness towards the Father, thanking the Father, right? Thank the Father for the wonderful unfolding of your beautiful love story, or rekindling of friendship, or whatever, right? And then go about your day. And whenever you think about it, just thank the Father. Thank you for our wonderful relationship. Thank you for our wonderful love. Thank you for our wonderful friendship. And just live your life, and you will see that lack will not exist whenever you are grateful, whenever you are in love. Lack cannot exist. So for those who want to work with me one-on-one, the link is in the description, and you can join the membership channel where I do weekly live streams every Saturday, and I answer all your questions in depth. The link is in the description. This is it for this video. Until next time, bye bye.